Welcome to another episode of the LendAPI Partner Podcast. Today, my guest is Chandan Maruthi, who's founder and CEO of Twig. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell me, Chandan, how did your business get started?
Yeah, I have a very unique set of experiences, Rutger. I started off my early career working with large fintechs like Nationwide Insurance, Aviva, Hartford, and so on. And my mid-career was as an engineer building AI and ML products before generative AI became cool. And in a strange turn of events, my CEO looked at me and said, "Hey, we have 20 customers in the SF Bay Area. Why don't you run customer success for them?" And for a couple of years, I was the point person managing customer success for companies like Sonos, Plantronics, VMware, and some amazing household names. And so this combination of fintech and customer success and AI is leading us to build AI for customer success today, especially for fintech companies.
So you actually lived it and then it became your business, which is always a very good way because then you get a lot of experience that you can then leverage when you actually start your own business. Now, what is the number one use case that you solve for?
Yeah. Fintechs have a very unique problem. A lot of fintech businesses are seasonal. If you think about tax prep companies, during the tax prep, early tax filing and late tax filing seasons, you have huge spikes, which is as high as 4 to 5 times their regular volumes. If you think about lending companies, summer customers want to buy homes. There's a lot of interest in lending applications, processing, huge demand, huge spikes. If you think about students, student loans, when it's time to get into schools, huge spikes. These spikes are often 3 to 4 times regular volumes, which means that the customer support teams that need to help customers during this process are slammed. They have just too much volume. They don't know how to help customers. And because of this, customer experience is really poor during these spikes. And the staffing teams just can't do anything about it because if you staff for those peaks, what would you do with the team for the rest of the year? This makes fintech a great use case for AI because AI can help address these spikes and reduce the amount of burden it takes on support teams to solve these problems.
So you're basically helping optimize that so that they both in up times and downtimes, or they can still deliver the customer service that the customers deserve.
Yeah, Twig builds what we call an agent, one support agent in a box.
Yeah.
And you'll pull up a job posting today on Indeed or Monster for a tier one support agent. They ask for about 6 things, which is the tier one support agent should be able to answer customer questions, look up information, take administrative actions, and in their free time, support articles, and then collaborate with others when they don't know how to solve a problem. And Twig's AI agents are able to do exactly those things. It can answer questions by looking up all the different sources of data, often 10 to 15 different sources of data we look up to provide an answer in 6 seconds. We are able to look up information. We are able to take administrative actions. And Twig generates tons of synthetically created help articles, which then augment their knowledge base. So a tier one support agent in a box that helps augment your team in term when you have those huge spikes in business and even also during after hours and weekends when your team is not around. AI is there to answer customer questions.
That is very helpful. Now, tell me, what is a favorite customer story that you can share with me?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I was having our bi-weekly review with a lending company. The point of contact said, "Hey, do you know Twig is helping reduce our missed SLAs around first response times?"
Hmm.
And I was like, "Okay, tell me more about it." Turns out, during the end of the day, support reps are tired. They, when they see a complex question, they don't want to take it because they know if they get involved, it's going to take 20 minutes to answer that question. They don't have the energy anymore to work on it. But with an AI co-pilot that Twig is, they know they'll get a customer-ready draft in under 6 seconds. And this repeatable behavior that you can use AI to get a 6-second draft, means that our customers are able to take up more of those questions towards the end of the day, which otherwise they would have missed.
That is a great story. I could see that, especially if your shift ends at a certain time and you go like, "Oh, that looks like a hairy problem." I could see how like a rep would say, "Hey, I'm not going to take that because it's going to take me over the time. I gotta catch my train, my bus, whatever. I gotta go pick up my kids." I could see that that is certainly something where that could be helpful. So what did the customer specifically say about that when you talked to them? How did they describe that value?
Yeah, so fewer missed first response SLAs, right? Which is a very clear number. They have a baseline of how many questions per week were missing the SLAs week on week in the past, and they now have with Twig the number of such questions that were missed. And there's a very clear difference that they can measure and see that they're missing fewer of those SLAs, which means the team is able to take 2 to 3x more questions than they were able to before. They are able to not miss out on these SLAs of first response, which especially is very high during peak times. And that's something now the team can show to their management on how they are able to improve customer experience in a quantifiable manner on an ongoing basis. And that for us is really why we're building Twig, which is provide a better customer experience for fintech teams.
That sounds like a really good measurable improvement and probably also happier agents in the call center, right?
If support folks can focus on the human element of that engagement and have all the complexities being handled by AI, then they're more empathetic. They have more energy to really listen to the tone of the customer and respond in a way that the customer is feeling good about that experience. Higher CSAT ratings, higher net promoter scores, and just better customer relationships.
Yeah, really sounds like a win-win-win, right? Customer wins, agent wins, and the company wins. So that's probably a good point to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Chandan, for joining us today.
Thank you, Rutger. It was a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you in the fintech space.
Perfect. And until next time, we'll see you at another LendAPI Partner Podcast.